Hi, welcome to all of you. In this particular session, I am going to explain the important concept of any programming language. Here we have a Python, which is nothing but data types and all its operations which we apply on the data types. So let's see. So our agenda here today in today's session is we will explain what is data type, built-in types, which is nothing but a string, integer, float, and then boolean, and then we will see operations on int, float, and boolean. We will see logical operations, equality operations, comparison operations, and then we will see mathematical functions from math library. Let's see what is data type. So data type, for the beginner, let me explain. The data type is nothing but a type of data. So when we say that 10, integer 10, so by looking this data we can say that it is a type of integer. When we say 10.01, so by looking this we can say this is floating data type, float or decimal, because here we have a point. When we say, let's suppose, hi or hello, so by looking this we can say this is a string data type. When we write true or false, so by looking by this data we can say this is boolean data type. So the data itself says that what is the type of data, and each and every data will have some location on memory. So let's suppose this is the memory, and when we say that a equal to 10, so this will occupy some memory location and it will be stored here, and a, this is identifier, will be pointing to this location, because every location should be referred by some identifier, otherwise how we will access that particular value. So by this way we represent it. So the significance of data type of an object, what value an object can have and what operations can be possible on those types. We will see in Jupyter Notepad how to calculate this one. Data types are classes. Each data elements is an instance of these classes. Let's see something about Python. So Python is nothing but a strongly typed language. Does not allow operations on incompatible type. So what is the meaning of that? Does not allow operations on incompatible type means, so when you add integer plus hello, this is a string, this is not allowed because this is incompatible. And use dynamic typing. So type of variable object is the type of the value it's bound. No explicit declaration of a variables. Each object has a certain type. So that means if you know C, C++, Java, here if you declare any identifier, you have to say what is the type of data. So if I am saying that integer a, so we have to say what is the type of data. If I'll say float b, then I have to say that what is the type of data. But this is not, and this is called a static typing. This will be declared at the time of writing the code. But in Python, no need to declare the type, no need to say that what is the type of data. You just say a equal to 10, b equal to 10.0, c equal to hello. And by looking the type of data, the data type will be assigned by the Python. So it is dynamically typed. At the runtime, the data type will be decided. No need to give the explicit type of data before this identifier. This is the actual meaning of that. So let's see some examples on Jupyter Notepad. So if you see here, type providing implicit context for operations. So if you have a 3 plus 4, which is nothing but integer operand plus integer operand is another integer. So if you add this one 3 plus 4, so let me clear the all output first. So all the output has been cleared now. Now let's run this cell. So this will give you 7. I just want to highlight here, type provide implicit context for operations. So here I am doing plus operations. Here I have done plus operation between two integer. Here I am doing plus operation between two string. So here concatenating of two strings would happen. So this would be added with ABC. So let's see what is happening. So ABC XYZ has been added. So if you can see here, the operator is plus in both cases, here also, here also, but operand here it is integer, so it has been added and it has given sum of 4 plus 3, and here operand is a string, then it is added to a string, so that means it is providing implicit context for operations. Now if you see, types limits the valid operations. So if you have a operand here is a string and another operand is integer, and if you run this one, let's see what is happening. So here you cannot add string with integer, so type limits the valid operations also, whether the operations you are going to perform on types is valid or not. So can only concatenate str, not integer to string, you can see here. Now, type providing implicit context for operations. You see one example here. Here I am having integer, here I am having float, and I am adding here. So, integer and float are compatible types with respect to addition. Integer is automatically upgraded to float before addition. So that means here 2 will be automatically upgraded to float before addition. So if you see here 6.0 plus 2, what would be the result? Result is 8.0, and this is nothing but a float. And Python is dynamically typed. So I have already explained you what is the dynamically typed and a static type. So if you see here, I have not given any data type for this particular identifier or variable. I have just created one identifier and given the value. By looking this value, it will be identified what is the type of this variable. And I am printing type of myvar. So let's see what it is printing. So it is saying that type of this myvar is integer because the object itself is integer. Similarly, if you see, I am giving floating point float value here in myvar1, then type would be printed float. Similarly, if you give a string to this myvar2, automatically at the runtime it will say type of this myvar2 is string. And if you give true, which is nothing but boolean, to this particular variable, I am not giving any data type before this variable, but still it will say type myvar3 is bool. So how it is identifying what is the type of the object which I have assigned? Runtime it is checking the type of object. If type of object is integer, it will say integer. If it is float, it will say float. If it is string, then it will say string, or and if it is boolean, then it will say boolean. So in Python, we have a boolean, integer and float as a numerical types, and these are the classes. So integer represent integer values, depend on the value Python automatically choose. So let's see this one. So integer represent integer values, depends on the value Python automatically choose an internal representation. So internal representation means what? X equal to 2, y equal to, let's suppose, 4, and when I am saying z equal to x plus y, so here it is 2 plus 4 is nothing but 6. So z is automatically treated as integer. If you type z, it will print int. So Python automatically choose an internal representation. If you do any kind of mathematical calculation, you write any expression, and by looking the expression value, the type of identifier, resulting identifier will be decided. If you see here, float represents numbers with decimal point, which is nothing but 3.12. This one you can see, this is in decimal. This is a scientific notation for float. So when you have a 3.12 E2, what is the meaning of this? 3.12 cross 10 power 2. When you have 3.12 E3, then what is the meaning of this? Cross 10 power 3. Similarly, you have a boolean, which is nothing but true and false. Point to be remembered here, it is true T capital, here it is false in false F capital. True represented by any non-zero non-null value. So non-zero means any value apart from 0, so which is nothing but 1, 2, 3, all will be treated as true and non-null, and the 0 will be treated as false and null value. So we will see operations on int and float. What kind of operations we can do on int and float? We can do plus, minus, multiplication, division, exponentiation, and absolute, return absolute value. And we have this division resulting in float, we have this also resulting in integer. So let's see all these operations in Jupyter Notepad. So let me add this one. So if you want to add 4 plus 3, what would be the output for this? 7. If you want to subtract 4 minus 3, then you can see this one. If you want to divide, let's suppose this one, this is 2. So this is floating point division. If I'll give double here, then it is integer division, it is giving integer. If you want to multiply 7 cross 4, then it will be 28. Multiplication is there. If you do like that, 8 modulus operator 4, then you can see here it is 0 because remainder is 0. So that's why we can do the mathematical operations on operands. If you want to initialize the value, if you see here, if you want to initialize an integer, so I can just give the integer and then identifier. So let's see what is the value of this. So the initial value of integer is 0. If you want to initialize an integer like that, so you can initialize this also, x2 equal to 5, type of x2 is integer. We can convert also from different data type to from another data type to different in next data type. Let's suppose we have integer 4.3. So this 4.3, we can see this is the float, but I want to convert int, so it will be converted as int and the 3 will be truncated. So let's see what is the output. So 4 is printed here. If you want to convert type of x into integer, if type of x can be converted, so if you see here, this is I am giving as a string and I want to convert in another data type which is integer, so which is nothing but 1 2 1, it is printed, it has converted it. But same thing I want to convert the string and I am giving a character here, then it will give you error. So you can see here invalid literals for int. So this you cannot convert because since it is I am giving here a string but digit, so it is converted. Similarly for float also you can initialize here and print a. So if you see here, this one, this will be printed 0.0. This is the initial value for float. If you want to convert this integer 6 to float, then you see 6.0. Similarly the scientific float also can be printed here. So this is 1 to 4. Minus also can be printed here if you see here. Then if you have a float 3 and then e, let's see what is printing here. So 3.0, this is integer and it has converted to float. Here we have a string and I want to convert to float. So let's see, this will give you error, could not convert a string to float. Similarly, if you have a x9 true and type of x9, so it will print you blue boolean. If you give true and true, so this will be true. So we'll see all these things. Let's go to the, now we will see the logical operations which we can perform on operators. So the logical operations we have AND, OR and NOT. So AND and OR are binary logical AND operation. This is also binary. NOT is unary logical NOT operations. So point to be noted here is operations and or follow short circuit evaluation. Second operand will not be evaluated if the result can be determined from the first operand. So let's see what is the truth table for and or. So for and, if you see 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, so the output would be for and 0 0 0 false true false true false false true true true. And for or, if you see, if you have a 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, so output would be false 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 true 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 false true 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 true. So this is the output and this is input. Here also this is input. So if you see here for AND operation, if you have some operand here and then we have and some operand here. So in case of AND, if it is false, this will not be evaluated, because for AND to give true value, both should be true. If you see here, when both are true, then only it is giving true, otherwise it is false. So since it is false, it will be automatically false. No need to check or evaluate this one. If it is first operand is true, then it will go and evaluate this one to check whether it is false or true, and then it will be decided the output of this particular condition whether it is true or false. But for or, if you see, we have a first operand or second operand. If we have a true here, then no need to check this one, because in or operator, if the first operand is true, that means the second has no significance. The whole will be resulting will be true. If it is false in or, then this will be evaluated whether it is true or false. So on the basis of this will be decided. If it is false, then it will be false. If it is true, then it will be true. So I hope you would have understood that what is the meaning of short circuit evaluation. So let's see some example for this one. So if you see this one, so let's see, when we have a true and true, see what is printing this one. So this would be true. When we have a true and false, so it will print false. If I'll give a small this f, then what would happen? Let's see. So this will say name false is not defined. So just point to be noted here, true and false boolean is first letter is capital. When we have, let's suppose, 3 here and false, so this is false because this is 3 is treated true because it's non-zero, and this is false. So true and false is false. If I'll give here true, then see what is happening here. So this is true. Now we will see this one, equality operations. So in equality operations, result would be either true or false. So the operator is is not equal to and not equal to. So is check for same identity. Check if both operands refer to the same object. I will explain this with example. Here it is opposite of this is this equal to check if two operands contain same value. So let's see what is the meaning of is. So let's us have one memory location and the value it is given here is 10, and this is referred by one identifier which is nothing but a, and then we say a equal to b. So that means b is also pointing to the same memory location. When we will say a is b, it will return true. and when we will say A equal to B, that also will return true because it is pointing to same value. When we have like that, A equal to 10 in some memory location and B equal to 20. So when we will say A is B, so this will be false, and when A equal to B, this also would be false. So this way it is treated. So let's see one example for this. So let's suppose we have A equal to hello and B equal to hello, and when we say A is B, see what is the output for this. So this is true because A and B both are pointing to same hello. So here the hello is having one memory location only in the memory, which is nothing but RAM here. So A is B. When we'll say A equal to B, then see what it is printing. So it is also true because the value is same. But if you type this one, A equal to 1 comma 3 comma 4, which is nothing but list. B equal to 3 comma, let's suppose 1 comma 3 comma 4, and when I am saying A is B, let's see what it is printing. It is false because A is pointing to different list, B is pointing to different list. But when I will say A equal to B, then what? Let's see what it is printing. It is true because the value inside this list are same. Now if you see here, if I'll change this value A, first location I am just changing to, let's suppose 7, and then I am printing A. So if you see here, the first list second location has been changed. So it start from 0, 1, 2. So the second location I have changed to 7. So 4 has been changed to 7. And then if I am saying A equal to B, then let's see what it is saying. So it is saying false because now the A and B content is not same. Similarly, one concept would come here in picture, which is mutable and unmutable. So a string is unmutable and this list is mutable because you can see here after initializing I can change the value of this. But if you do the same thing here for a string, it will give you error. If I am giving A equal to hello, and then if I'll change, let's suppose A index of 1 equal to, let's suppose V, so this will give error here. It will say str object does not support item assignment. Okay, so this cannot be changed because this is immutable. So if let's suppose if I am giving B equal to let's suppose RAK, I'm giving some value here RAK, and if I say A is B, then see what it is printing. So it will say it is false because A is not B, not pointing to same value. But if you see here A equal to B, this also will give false. But if you give here same thing hello, then you see A equal to B is true and B is also true because hello is taking only one location in memory and two variables are pointing to the same location. But in case of this A and B, if you see here, A is taking 1 2 1 3 4 is taking different location. B here also it is taking different location. But if you see here, I am giving different identifier for two string, but it is taking same value here, same location. So that's why this string is unmutable and this one is mutable. So now we see the comparison operations. So we will see this comparison on data type. So which is nothing but less than equal to, greater than, and greater than equal to. So less than means what? 9 less than 10. So this is true. If I am giving 9 greater than 10, this is return false because 9 is not greater than 10. If I say 9 greater than equal to 9, this is also true. If I say 9 greater than equal to 8, this is also true. If I say 9 less than equal to 8, this is false. If I say 9 equal to 8, this is also false because 9 not equal to 8. If I say 9 equal to 9, this is true. So let's see example for this. So if you see here, if I am saying 9 greater than equal to 10, what should be the output for this? So output would be false because 9 is not greater than 10. If I say 9 equal to 10, this also equal to and greater than equal to 10, this is also false. If I say 9 less than equal to 10, then it is true. If I say 9 less than equal to 10, then also invalid syntax because I think this we have to give like that. 9 less than equal to 10. So this is true. If I say 9 equal to 10, this is false. So at last, let's see some mathematical functions in Python library. So this is not all mathematical functions. You can refer to the uh, Python documentation for all the math libraries. Few of them are there. So if you want to use the math library for Python, you have to just write import math, and then you can use math.py, math.e, math.sqrt square root of x, math.exp, math.ceil x, math.floor of x. So by by this way we can use the math library of Python. So let's see example for this. So let's suppose if you want to use the math library, so what you have to do, import math and then math.py. Let's see what is the output for this. So this will be printed to this much of precisions. If you use math.e, then it will print this. Similarly, you can use for math.sqrt, some value you can give here. Let's suppose for math.exp, some value you can give here. Similarly, here you can use math.ceil, something, some value here. Then you can write math.floor, some value here. So similar, by this way you can use in your code. So I have explained what is the data type, all the usage of data type, operations, logical, equality, mathematical operations, all those things I have explained with example. If you have any question, please put it in comment box. I will try to answer as much as possible. Thank you for now.